They were in there for 1 hour and there's everywhere. Like, dude. But I mean, obviously I love my kids, but I don't know if I'm in love with kids.
Okay.
You know, I don't mind them. I got Andrew Tate reach out.
Yeah.
You know?
He's coming on.
Well, he went to jail after that, but yeah, I'm gonna do what I can to get him on, even if I got to fly to Romania.
Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm your host, as always, Sean Kelly. Got with me a great guest for you guys today, Brad Lee. How's it going?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good, man. What's been on your mind lately?
Just trying to make it work, you know.
Same old.
Pushing.
Focus on light speed.
Focused on light speed, you know, kind of let that one slip a little bit over the last 4 years. But fortunately, with recurring revenue, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But, you know, it should have been much higher by now. So getting back in the captain's chair there. You know, I've got a few companies, but you know, mainly I'm just waiting to see what's going on with this nonsense everywhere.
What do you mean by that?
Just all the nonsense that's going on.
Can you elaborate on that?
You don't want me to.
Yeah, we'll probably get banned.
Yeah, you don't want to get it suppressed.
Yeah, we could go down that road for sure. You also got a huge podcast. See you crushing that.
Podcast is getting big.
Yeah.
Dropping bombs for all of you that don't know.
Yeah, what's that like? I mean, you really grew that into an empire.
And by the way, I think that's getting suppressed because it says bombs in it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Just from the bombs word?
Just from the bombs.
You might have to
word.
change the whole name.
It's just stupid.
So what are you going to call it?
Nothing. I'm going to call it dropping bombs.
YouTube suppresses you? I guess it makes sense. Terrorism, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's AI doing it. Nobody's paying attention.
Yeah.
Wake up.
What keeps you motivated? I mean, you've got all this money, all this success. You're known pretty much everywhere. What keeps you going these days?
I don't know who's informing you. Okay. I don't have all this money and I'm not known everywhere. But that would be something I'm working on, where I'll have all this money and everyone knows me.
So you're not happy with the current level of wealth you're at right now?
When you say happy, you know, I think happiness is a choice. So I'm happy.
Okay.
Even if I had a fraction of what I have, I'd be happy. I'm happy even when I was broke.
Most people, I'd say when they're broke, they're not that happy though.
Well, I mean, that's most people.
So you think it's just a switch? Like,
it's a choice. Happiness is a choice. You choose to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, you take someone that had money their whole life, put them in a broke situation, they're going to be upset. They're going to not be happy. Put somebody that was, you know, about to die and now they're told they're not going to die, but they don't have any money. They're quite happy.
Mm-hmm.
Same situation, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Perspective.
Wow. That's deep.
And I think you choose happiness. So I can be happy sitting here or I can be upset sitting here.
Yeah.
I could say there's no water on my table. Are you crazy, dude? Don't you know who I am? Where's my Voss water?
You love that Voss water.
Or I could just sit here and be happy, which I do. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Money definitely, I think, makes people happier, or it's easier to choose happiness when you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
For sure. I just don't think money doesn't necessarily make you happy. A choice makes you happy.
Mm-hmm. When you started getting money, success, what did you do with your old friends that you grew up with? Did you keep them?
I haven't seen my old friends that I grew up with for, you know, ever. I left my state in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left, I pretty much left everything. I didn't stay connected.
You didn't text them, call them?
There was no texting back then.
Oh, right. You didn't call them though?
No, I mean, you know, and then phone numbers would get disconnected over time. I mean, dude, that's a long time. I'm an old dog.
Yeah.
So I didn't stay in touch with my high school buddies, unfortunately. If I went back, you know, I can remember 5 or 10 high school buddies.
Yeah.
I don't keep track with them. I don't keep up with them.
Yeah.
Which is I would say it's a regret of mine. Meaning,
it's a regret.
Well, sure. I mean, you can't replace childhood friends. There's only one set you're ever going to get.
If they're watching this, reach out to him, guys. He misses you.
No, no, don't. No, actually, I wouldn't mind if they did, but a lot of them, they didn't change at all. I've had a few reach out.
Okay.
And man, they're just still.
It's kind of how I feel.
They're in the same town doing the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro. And they're asking me questions like I'm, Brad Pitt, not Brad Lee. I'm like, bro, they think 1 million followers is crazy. And I'm like, well, it's 2.5 on TikTok. Does that make it better?
It's all relative, right?
I'm starting to get recognized places, but I'm far from a celebrity, I would say. I mean, I can't even believe a lot of these people that are even more well-known than me on social media walk around claiming a celebrity status.
Yeah, I would never label myself that, even if I did become one, I guess. It's just weird, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, at some point, I guess you become one, but I don't feel I've arrived there yet.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not getting swarmed with autograph seekers, or I get a few people recognize me, want my picture, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'd give you the local celebrity tag though, in Vegas. You're pretty known in Vegas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, good. Is it a good reputation?
Yeah. I've never heard someone talk badly of you, actually.
Say that again.
Yeah, I've never heard it.
That's because I try to treat people ethically and, do the right thing.
Yeah, you do good business. You got a great product. You're working with guys like Grant Cardone. You got a great reputation. How did you build that relationship?
I just tracked him down and closed him.
At a conference?
No, at his house, actually.
You went to his house?
The first time, he finally invited me over to his house. But Tony Robbins was harder to get to than Grant. Grant wasn't that really hard to get to. Grant wasn't even very well known when I met him. He was just a trainer in the car business.
Yeah.
So he trained car salesmen. That's all he did. Nobody knew who he was. There was no social media.
Oh, this was like 10 years ago, right?
It was longer than that. But
wow.
I don't know why my voice sounding all weird on this.
You need a water?
No. I just sound like Barry Whitish.
Tell us a story with with Tony. How do you meet Tony Robbins?
I just kept asking everyone I knew, do you know Tony? Do you know anyone that knows Tony?
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually someone said yes. And I said, introduce me. He said, why? I showed him why. And he called me one day and he said, listen, Tony will be in San Francisco. He said, he'll give you 15 minutes. I said, I'm there. So I show up, boom, took about 2 hours with him, and then had to chase him for another 2 or 3 years until I finally closed his ass at his house in Palm Beach, Florida.
Wow. And what did that end up generating revenue-wise for you?
It didn't go as big as I thought because Tony's already huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's beyond caring about money. He's got a ton of it.
Right.
He has bigger things that he looks for, like feeding like 1 million families or something, kids, stuff like that. So he's above and beyond. So he didn't really push it too much, but we did well, for what we did.
Yeah.
But I thought I was going to be a zillionaire, but I went out and celebrated.
Yeah, I've been there.
Got Tony Robbins. Everyone's going to do it now.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Really?
Nobody cared. I mean, it adds a little credibility, but it didn't blow up my business. No.
Interesting. You had an interesting take on your Instagram about getting rich quick.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Yeah, so you're a fan of it, but most people advise against it.
That's because they don't know how to do it.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, dude, the best way to get rich is to get rich quick. Wouldn't you rather get rich quick than slow?
At what cost, though?
See, again, that's some pessimistic scarcity mindset that they're trying to plant into you. Why is it that you can't get rich quick? People go, oh, there's no such thing. Dude, just because there's no such thing to you doesn't mean there's no such thing. There's people that invested in what's called crypto. I'm sure you're familiar with a little bit of that. They were rich overnight.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that happen to.
I was offered Bitcoin at $7 a coin.
Jeez.
And I said, who wants this?
You would have made 10 mil.
I would have made more than 10 mil. But I know a buddy of mine, he's got 300 million in Ethereum right now. So he got rich quick. And it is possible. And most people don't think it is, so they just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
When in reality, like I don't, anything's possible. But I was also being a little bit facetious. Someone said, what's the best way to get rich? They were wanting me to say real estate or all these different various ways.
Yeah.
And my response was quickly. That's the best way to do it quick. But it's not likely that a lot of people are going to get rich quick. It does take time. If anybody's sitting here taking notes, it does take time. you got to be aware of that and be willing to pay the price. But at the end of the day, it's also quite possible to get rich quick, and that's the best way to do it. But I'll settle. Dude, it take me 20 years to get rich. That's not quick.
Took you 20 years to become a millionaire?
No, it took me 8.
So you were 28?
No, I started business when I was 30.
Oh, so you were 38. Oh, that's later than I thought.
Yes.
Wow. Why'd you start so late?
Because I was, running around thinking I was making all the money in the world. I didn't know what entrepreneurship was, really.
Okay. Yeah, back then it wasn't cool.
Well, I mean, I was always entrepreneurial. It's just, you needed to make money, pay bills. I had family, I had child support, I had car payments to make.
Right.
So you got to have a job. How are you going to make money if shit ain't working out? So I went and got, work at other people's businesses, selling things, cars, art, all kinds of different things, RVs. So I needed to pay bills, right? So I went to work. But at 30 years old, I kind of had this little pivotal moment where I thought, man, I just want to help people make more money, because I saw a family that I helped, and it was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I want to do that again. I'm going to start a business and start helping people train and make more money. And that's kind of when I started my business. I was 30 years old, working at a car dealership. So I quit my job and started a business. And it took 8 years to make it.
Wow. It's a long time, man.
It didn't seem like that long, but I guess it sounds that long. You know what I did? Every 90 days, I thought I was 90 days away. And if you ask me what's going on in 90 days from now, I'd say the same thing. Like, dude, there's some major shit I'm working on.
Yeah.
And in 90 days, you don't even imagine.
There's always something, right?
Dude, and that's what kept me going for 20 years. It's like every 90 days, there was something big happening. And if you come back to me in 90 days and I'm not there, I won't be like, no, I kind of failed. I'd say, dude, no, but I'm 90 days away. It's always this elusive 90 days. I'm going to write a book one of these days called How Do You Get Anything You Want in 90 Days? And here's how you do it. You figure out what it is. Then you look down, you work your off for 90 days. Then you look up, and if you don't have it, repeat. And at some point, I guarantee you'll get it. Yeah. At some point, and it will be within 90 days. It just might be your 27th one.
Yeah. Might be on your deathbed, but it'll happen eventually, right? Just hard work.
And if it doesn't, you're dead, so who cares?
Yeah. You have a lot of kids, man.
7?
It's a lot.
Is it?
Yeah. You don't think so?
Better get started. No.
What age were you when you had the first one?
17.
So high school. Planned or no?
Well, I wasn't in high school because I dropped out.
Oh, you dropped out, right.
16 years old, dropped out, 11th grade.
Wow.
What was your question?
Planned, or was it girlfriend? Or?
No, none of them were really planned.
Oh, none of them. So you never had a discussion?
I mean, they might have been planned with my current wife. She wanted kids.
Yeah.
So we didn't sit there and say, okay, let's start trying.
Okay.
We just, had one.
I just learned women can only get pregnant 6 to 8 days out of the month.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Well, I have good aim then.
7 kids. Is there a certain number you want, or you're just gonna keep
it
going?
I mean, my wife wants a boy. I have 2 boys from another wife, but my wife wants a boy. We have 3 girls.
Okay.
So again, I'll keep going. I'm never getting snipped.
Yeah.
So if she gets pregnant, there you go.
So you love having kids?
I don't mind them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily love them. I don't. I love my kids. I don't love kids though. Like they're aggravating sometimes. You got to go home. You got to deal with them. The house is always messy. There's fingerprints everywhere. They screw up a truck. Yeah. I get in the back of my truck. They were in there for 1 hour and there's everywhere. Like, dude. But I mean, obviously, I love my kids, but I don't know if I'm in love with kids.
Okay.
I just I don't mind them. In other words, like if you got I think if you have a good deal with your wife. Because I know some guys, listen, they got to get up in the middle of the night and change diapers. They got to literally pitch in.
You didn't have to do that?
Hell no. You kidding me, bro?
You got a nanny.
Well, I told my wife, I've already had kids. I'm not interested in having any. This is before we were married. Yeah. She just begged and begged and begged. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, if I have kids with you, I'm not I'm not doing anything except like, take them out to play and play with them. And as soon as I'm done, I hand it to you. So literally she was a nanny when I met her.
Okay.
So she knew how to take care of kids. Her mom is like the super grandma. And we have we don't have a nanny. We have a teacher. We have we don't even have a nanny actually.
So who just your
My
wife
wife
takes care of them? Okay. Because she was a nanny, so.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, we have a nanny, but we don't. We have a maid. We have a teacher.
Okay.
I hired a private teacher for them.
So you homeschool them.
Yeah. Well, I call it private education because homeschooling makes you think like your mom and dad are sitting there on the table with you trying to figure out math. I took the teacher from their private school that we left with us.
Oh, wow.
I said, hey, why don't you come just work directly for us?
Nice.
Yeah, so I've snatched a good teacher, and she trains them. And she's almost like a nanny, but she's not. She's a teacher.
What does she teach them? Like actual
Everything.
Subjects?
Yeah.
Like math, reading,
Yeah.
history. So you still like the education system? Like the topics they teach?
More old school. Like we don't agree with core math.
Yeah.
You've heard of core?
No. Is that the new
You got
thing?
lucky. Yeah. I mean, apparently, dude, you got to solve a simple problem like 4 + 4, there's 17 steps.
What?
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, but they're everyone says, what about, how are they going to handle it socially?
Yeah.
Listen, they're very social. Like if they were here right now, they'd be laughing. They'd get on the microphone and talk. They're not shy.
Okay.
We go out to places. They see other kids and other people. It's just, I don't like leaving them at a school where the school's indoctrinating them. And that's what's happening.
It's scary.
Dude, that's what's straight up happening at the school.
For sure.
You better get your kid, in check if you really care about them, because otherwise that school is going to make them believe whatever it is they want them to believe.
Was it like that when you went to school, or do you think it's a newer thing?
I think it's, I didn't recognize it as much.
Yeah, same. I could see it kind of starting when I was in school, but not as bad as now.
Yeah, when I was in school, man, they just told you to, get good grades so you can go to college and you can get a good job. That's all they were pushing. Everything else was still, God, USA, apple pie,
Keep it private, yeah. Now it's like they're really entering your personal lives almost.
Well, I don't know what they're doing because we vacated the premises.
Yeah.
See, I don't worry about stuff like that. I just remove my kids. Now, again, do they want to be in school? They do want to be in school. They don't like being privately educated. They want to be schooled at school with all their friends. They want to have friends. But, not going to happen. Especially because they wanted the shots and yada, yada, yada. And my kids aren't getting a shot. I'm not getting one. We're not wearing masks. All that went on, I wasn't about it. So I just snatched them out and brought them home.
Man, that was a crazy time. Couldn't even walk in a building without a mask on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people right now wishing that they didn't get a.
I see it every day. There's like a movement starting, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, proof's out now.
Yeah.
We're just not wacky anymore. Now it's like, I think we're called purebloods now.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, I technically got it, but.
What do you mean technically? You got your card.
Yeah, we're going to cut this part for sure.
I wouldn't even bring up if I were you.
Yeah, we'll cut this whole segment.
So go back to 7. Yeah, I've got 7 kids. Love them to death. Kids are great.
17. So you started at 17 and you just had one every couple of years from there?
No, 17, I had one. And then, believe it or not, that was the first time
First time you
had.
Oh, okay.
And so it was kind of like alarming.
Literally the first time ever.
Yeah. And only once.
Wow.
So anyway, got her pregnant. So I'm like, wow. So I kind of got a little shy for a year and a half.
Okay.
And then did it again once, another one. And so I didn't do anything till 3 or 4 years. And then I got married and had 2 boys. And then I was married for 10 years and then got divorced and then met my current wife. And we have 3. So it's 7 kids from 4 mothers.
Wow. What do you think was the contributing factors to that first divorce?
She wanted to be the boss. She wanted to control things.
She was an alpha.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good way of saying it nowadays, but I called her, you can call it alpha now to disguise it. But she wanted to be the boss. Like, I wanted to, I had things to do. I had a sales team, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say, hey, listen, and we lived right across the street from this place. I said, hey, meet me over here. I'm going to hang out with the team for a little bit, get them ramped up. Yeah. No, you need to come home. I said, why? You need to come home. So I'd go home. What's up? And she'd be sitting there in a T-shirt watching an old Arabic movie that I didn't understand. And, I'm like, why do I need to be here? Because you have a family. You need to be here. I'm like, there's nothing going on. I'll be right there. I'm pointing at the place out my window. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
I go, I have a sales team and, I got to like hang out with them, pump them up, keep them motivated. No, you're going to stay home. And not even like she's the boss. And so that only lasted a certain amount of time before I said, listen, we got to change something. And then she said, or what? And I said, or we'll have to get a divorce. And she said, you don't have the balls to divorce me.
Whoa.
And I said, excuse me? Like, you must totally, completely misunderstand who you're married to.
Yeah.
And so, boom, that was the end of that.
Did you have a prenup?
Didn't need one.
What do you mean?
I didn't have any money.
Oh, so you got lucky. Nice. I feel like these days you kind of need one, though.
They don't hold up anyway.
So you didn't get one on the new wife?
Well, the new wife, I have what's called trusts. So Brad Lee technically doesn't make much.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, on paper, right?
Well, I mean, listen, the truly wealthiest people in the world, if you look at what they personally own, it's not much. So if my wife were to divorce me, she could take half and I'd be just wonderfully fine because I have trusts. So the trusts she cannot take half of. So anyway, we don't have a prenup.
Interesting.
And I don't think we needed one, quite frankly.
Okay. Because I saw when Bezos got divorced, he got wrecked.
Maybe he didn't have a trust. And when you say wrecked, see, this is my point, Sean. Listen, how much did he have left?
Of what, Amazon?
His money.
I mean, I don't know if this is real, but on the articles it said he lost a lot of money.
No, not lost. How much did he still have left?
Left?
Yeah, so if I told you you're going to lose half your money, do you want to lose 30,000 or do you want to lose 300 million?
30,000. Right?
Pay attention to what I'm telling you.
Wait.
Listen to me. You're going to lose half your money.
Yeah.
You're going to lose half your money in this divorce. So you have a choice. Do you want to lose 30,000 or do you want to lose 300 million?
Oh, I see what you're saying. 300 million.
Thank you. So do I. So does Jeff. Like, dude, poor Jeff. He lost $1 billion. Who cares? He's got $100 billion left.
Yeah.
Like, dude, why you guys feel sorry for a dude that has billions of dollars? Because he lost some? And by the way, he married that girl early on.
Yeah.
She spent that whole time. Well, that was half hers.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that.
Yeah, that's true.
Why wasn't it half hers?
Yeah, she was there for the whole time. I mean, she deserves something, right?
The whole time. Now, again, if he was already worth $5 billion and then she shows up and now he's worth $50 billion, if that $5 billion shouldn't even be counted. Why? Had that before her.
Right.
Okay, next. Okay, out of the 50, what does she deserve? Well, I mean, realistically, if she's some, bimbo hooker that just, tied him down for 2 or 3 years and to get his money, I don't think she deserves anything.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about the wife that spent the entire broke days supporting him that whole time, she deserves something, man. And I would say half because I think you're partners.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. She was there from the start.
But more importantly, dude, he's fine. Why is it poor Jeff Bezos? Like, I wish I lost $1 billion in a divorce. That'd be great.
I just saw last week he already made it back.
Yeah, he's not worried.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard from her.
No.
Where's she at?
She's on a yacht somewhere.
She's fine.
Yeah. You get along with your family?
Yeah. Which family?
Like your direct family, like,
yeah.
Because are they entrepreneurs as well, or are they corporate?
No. Yeah, they're not even corporate. They're blue collar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from a family that's mostly blue collar.
Okay. Because I have this weird dynamic with mine where they don't get me. They all made fun of me when I dropped out of college. They all made fun of me when I didn't have a job. So I'm just wondering if you dealt with that too.
No.
So they all supported you?
No. I didn't talk to him much. We're not a real close family. Like sometimes I'll go years not talk to anybody.
Oh, okay.
And then when I hear them, they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" "Good." "Can I borrow some money?" "What for?" I always say what for first.
Yeah.
Because if it's stupid, the answer is no.
So you've given money to them?
Sure. What's money for if you can't help people with it?
What about your parents? Did they support you?
Again, no, they kicked me out when I was 16 for not mowing the lawn.
What?
Yeah, when I was 16, I was supposed to mow the lawn. My dad said, "Why didn't you mow the lawn?" I said, "I forgot." He said, "I think you best hit the road." So I packed my bags and left and never went back.
And you never talked to them since?
I talked to them, but again, I'm out of the house now. I'm just an adult.
Wow. 16.
So they'd say, "How you doing?" I'd say, "Good." Say, "I see your car." And back then, I was a little bit of a hoodlum, meaning I'd get what I needed no matter what. And again, I wasn't robbing people, but I was very creative at making money, earning money.
Okay.
And so anything that I had achieved, they just assumed was some sort of scam or some sort of.
Wow.
But, again, we don't, it's weird because it's not like we're tight, but it's not like we hate each other. It's just, I'm thinking of the word and I can't get it, but
I kind of know what you mean.
It's almost like, just lukewarm.
Lukewarm. Interesting.
At one time, my dad came to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I had my 2 boys, and those are his grandkids, obviously.
Right.
I said, "You going to come over, meet your grandkids?" He said, "Yeah, this is going to be awesome." So he gets here. I pick him up from the airport, go to the hotel. He's got to meet some people from the Moose Lodge or, whatever he was here for. So I took him to the hotel. I had a bunch of alcohol surprised in his room, the kind they like, bunch of it, because they drank a lot. Day 2, no show. Day 3, I call him. "Yeah, we'll be over there a little bit later." No show. Day 4, day 5. They were here 7 days. Never came over to see their grandkids.
That's crazy.
Who does that?
I've never heard of that.
But again, everyone's like, "Well, why are you guys at odds?" Well, we're not. Just they had better to do than meet grandkids.
Wow. So did you feel the need to kind of prove them wrong when you left and make money?
I think now that I'm getting a little older, I'm thinking back that is part of what's driven me is trying to say, "How you like me now?" Because, dude, I like revenge.
Yeah. I think it's good motivation if used properly.
Great motivation. Like Dana White has something that says, bet against me.
Right.
That's what makes me go. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me I can't do something, that's when I'm really going to do it.
Yeah. Man, that's wild. I didn't know you had that dynamic with your parents. But you treat your kids like very respectfully and you seem like to be a part of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Gold, I'd say.
Yeah. Similar with my dad. He did not get along with his parents, but he never laid a hand on me, He used to get physically beat up and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I always respected him for that.
Well, that's a good dad.
Yeah.
Doesn't beat you.
I mean, he got his ass beat.
Mine never really beat my ass. I got a spanking with the belt many times.
Gotten a few of those with my mom.
Dude, I got more than a few, but he would never beat me up.
Yeah.
There was no fists with my dad. It was always a belt. And once I got 12 or 13 or old enough to where it was stupid, he'd stop. He only did it when we were a kid, but boy, I'll tell you, he beat. And I think that's why I'm resourceful. I think
From getting your beat as a kid.
Yeah, it made you think, man.
Right.
It made you stay out of trouble too.
Yeah, it made you careful with your words, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because people these days just run in their mouth on social media.
Well, a lot of kids nowadays, you're not allowed to spank them.
Yeah, you'll get arrested.
They're indoctrinated at your school, so you don't want to mess around with your kids now. You just let the schools raise them, let the government raise them, and do what you're told.
Yeah, that's scary, man. I'm not a fan of that.
That's supposed to be funny.
I mean, it is, but it's not because it's so real.
We have any audience laughter you can throw in there?
No, I see you do that on your show with the bomb thing, but I got to get some sound effects eventually.
Yeah, your show is very, how you doing? Excellent. Very mature for your age. How old are you?
26.
Yeah. You act like 46.
Yeah, I hang out with a lot of people in their 30s and 40s. I struggle hanging out with people my age for some reason.
Why do you think that is?
Different mindset, you know? People my age are out there going to clubs, partying. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't drink or smoke. Just different mindset.
What do you do all day?
Work, play basketball, network.
You're a basketball fan?
I am.
Who is better? Who's the best basketball player ever to live?
Ever to live? Probably Michael Jordan.
That's right.
Yeah.
Give yourself a bomb for that.
People say LeBron, but
No, people don't.
people in my generation do.
No.
People in yours
Idiots do. People don't.
It gets harder to like him every year that goes by, the more he does.
Bottom line is, though, is like, Michael Jordan is a legend. He's an icon. People stand in line for his shoes still.
Yeah.
Nobody's standing in line for LeBron James shoes.
No, I bought those at the Flemington outlets and I rolled my ankle as soon as I got them.
See what I'm saying?
I was wondering why they were $20 and then, rolled my ankle every time I played in them.
So who did your homework? What's that list?
I use AI. So I go through all your previous podcasts, use an AI summarizer. Oh, I like what he said about that. Let me ask about that.
Oh, interesting.
And then I go through your Instagram and Twitter.
You're going to have to teach me how to do that.
Yeah,
See,
I heard you don't do prep on
Not
your
at
show.
all.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could probably tell when you watch the show. No, when people show up, I like to get to know them on the spot. So who are you? What do you do? I mean, obviously, I know what the media says, but who are you? What do you do? Just start having conversations. We might end up talking about, their high school girlfriends or, talk about, you never know where it goes.
Yeah, I'd say I'm a balance. I don't go as hard as Sartain does, but I'm somewhere in the middle of you two. I do about 30 minutes per guest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's Sartain do?
I mean, that dude spends hours. He watches the whole podcast, multiple episodes, and writes questions from there.
Yeah, see how much time I save?
Save a lot of time.
And I bet you my podcast is just as popular as
Yours is
Sartain.
probably the biggest in Vegas. I'd say you or Graham Stephan.
See, who's Graham Stephan?
You don't know Graham Stephan? No, you know him.
I swear to God I know.
Iced Coffee Hour? Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Wow. So you're in your own little world.
Well, I mean, yeah, I work, dude. Listen, I'm not in this world.
Yeah.
Someone the other day wanted me to get on. When I say the other day, sometimes that could be 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But the other day, which was years ago, they wanted me to get on this thing called Cameo.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. So Cameo is supposedly real celebrities and yada, yada, yada. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I was telling somebody and I said, they wanted me on Cameo. So I signed up and they're like, oh, you're on Cameo, bro? That's huge. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, dude, there's real celebrities on that. Like, athletes, all kinds of celebrities. And that made me think, I wonder what they're calling me. Like, because I'm just a CEO. I'm just an entrepreneur. Like, what kind of celebrity are they calling me? So I looked it up. I was a podcaster.
Did you like that?
But I mean, I am a podcaster, I guess. But when I started the podcast, I did it just for fun. People were coming in and out to make courses for my technology that I created.
Yeah.
And so I had all these people, big names coming in. I figured, why not just sit down and start talking to them? Everyone told me, everyone's got a podcast, bro. Don't start a podcast, bro. So I said, man, I'm going to start a podcast. So I started a podcast, and I'll tell you what, man, that's one of the best things I've ever done.
Wow.
It's getting pretty big. It's afforded me a lot of deal flow, and I can pretty much get a hold of anybody because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get people, when they're coming out with a new product or book calling me, can I get on the podcast?
Yeah.
Or there are people calling, hey, can we get so-and-so on the podcast? I've got Andrew Tate. I got Andrew Tate reach out.
Yeah. He's coming on.
Well, he went to jail after that, but yeah, I'm gonna do what I can to get him on, even if I got to fly to Romania.
Yeah. He just got out, right? House arrest.
Yeah, he's off house arrest.
Nice.
But Dan Pena,
That's a big one.
Jordan Peterson.
Huge.
I'm gonna be going to Necker Island here in about a month.
That's sick.
See if I can get Richard on it. He'll be there. Michaela Peterson. Can't remember them all, but it's just nice to be able to, attract conversations.
Yeah. No, I got to say, I'm only 6 months in, but I'm starting to see the benefits a little bit.
Well, dude, you're coming up quick.
Yeah.
Seems like it took me years.
Well, I learned from guys like you and Rogan, and people paved the way before me so I could learn quicker,
How do you get guests? Just reach out to them?
Reach out. I got a couple talent bookers. But now that we have the viewership, it's a lot easier, like you said.
Yeah.
It was hard at first. I mean, I was having on my friends at first, and then I worked my way up.
Dude, one time I didn't have a guest, so I grabbed my handyman that works at my office. I interviewed him. That's my favorite episode.
Yeah? Yeah, sometimes it's the normal people that give some bombs, as you would say.
That's right, dude. That's because people identify with being normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, we got to wrap up. Is there anything you're trying to promote before we...
No, man. Just take care of yourself. You know, be a good person. Learn to sell, close, and persuade, and you'll go as far as you want to go.
Love that. Thanks for coming on, Brad.
Pleasure, man.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.